friends, this is me, ShanzayZaheen. Welcome to all of you. So our today's topic is conditional sentences. At first I want to tell you, today we are going to learn the zero conditional, the first conditional, the second conditional, and the third conditional. So now let's start. Conditional sentences structure. A conditional sentence is composed of two parts: if clause plus main clause. Example, if it rains tomorrow, we will not come. The if it rain tomorrows is if clause and we will not come is main clause. So now let's see the next slide. So now if clause shows the condition and the main clause show the result. Usually, if clause comes at the beginning of the sentence and the main clause comes at the end of the sentence. To separate both the clauses, we put comma. Sometimes the main clause comes at the first and if clause comes at the end of the sentence. Let's see what's on the next slide. Zero conditionals. Zero conditionals shows general truth. For example, if it rains, we get wet. If it rains is a condition and we get wet is a result. Second example, if I get wet, I change my clothes. If I get wet is a condition and I change my clothes is a result. Zero conditionals also show scientific facts and laws of nature. For example, if the water boils, it is not cold. If the water boils is a condition and it is not cold is a result. So let's see what's next. Okay, first conditionals. First conditional has also two clauses, if clause and the main clause. The verb in if clause is in present tense and the verb in main clause is in the future tense. For example, if I feel sick tomorrow, I will not go to school. In the sentence, feel is a present tense and will not go is a future tense. The second example is, if it rains, the match will be cancelled. Rain is the present tense and will be is the future tense. So let's see what's in the next slide. So now I'm going to show you the examples of first conditionals in sentences. The first conditional. If I study hard, there is a good chance I will get A in this exam. If you leave now, you can get the last train. If you don't leave now, you will have to walk home. If Dave calls again, tell him I'm out. If we finish his today, we won't have to do it next week. Second conditional, imaginary present or unlikely future. The second conditional has also two clauses, if clause and the main clause. The if clause is in the past tense and the main clause you have to put would and infinitive. Now I'm going to tell you some examples of second conditional. If he were a bird, he would fly across the harbor. The second example is, if I had $200,000 now, I would buy a car. So now I would like to tell you some examples of second conditional in sentences. If I had more money, I would buy a bigger house. Second one is, if my team won the cup, I would buy champagne for everyone. The third one is, if I was working in London, I would take the tube every day. The fourth and the last one is, if I spoke to him directly, I might be able to convince him. So let's move to the third and the last conditional sentence. It has also two clauses, the if clause and the main clause. The if clause is in the past perfect tense and the main clause you have to put would have plus past participle. For example, if I had enough money, I would have bought the camera yesterday. The second example is, if I had come home earlier, I would not have missed the program. Now I would like to tell you some of the examples of third conditional. If you had studied more, you would have passed your exams. If we hadn't missed the bus, we wouldn't have been late. Now the last example is, if I had known you needed help, I would have helped you. Now I would like to give you the overview of all the conditionals except zero conditional. First conditional, if clause. If plus present simple, main clause, will plus infinitive. For example, if he studied hard, he will pass his exam. The second conditional, if plus past simple, and the main clause is would plus infinitive. For example, if I were the president, I would raise rates to the wealthier citizens. The third conditional is if plus past perfect, and its main clause is would plus have plus past participle. For example, if you had caught up earlier, you would have arrived on time. I hope that you will like my today's topic, that is conditional sentences. And please like, share, comment, and subscribe my channel. And don't forget to do comments. Please, I love your comments. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you.